I don't see myself actually.
This week's Grade 8 Events on WRIC Now is sponsored by Blank and Marcus, attorneys at law. Nice guys making a difference.
Hey everyone, welcome to Grade 8 Events. I'm your host, Delaney Hall. Happy Halloween. I love that this Grade 8 Events episode is on Halloween. I know lots of families are getting ready for trick-or-treating, but we also have a lot of stuff going on the weekend after Halloween. I want to bring in Jacqueline Waters to talk about some of the weather we can expect. So I guess what can we see tonight and then through the weekend, Jackie?
So tonight, it's not going to feel like Halloween.
Yeah.
Those temperatures are going to feel more spring-like out there. We're going to be very warm today, low to mid 80s, but even tonight we'll be in the 70s with mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. So really no weather concerns tonight for any of those plans other than the breeze. It will be a bit breezy at times. The weekend looking beautiful. For those that have been waiting for the fall-like temperatures, they will return for the weekend. So mid to upper 60s, a mixture of sun and clouds. No rain in the forecast for the weekend, and we're looking at nice calm winds. So really no weather concerns.
So more of like the fall
Yes.
feel, which is good because I feel like a lot of our, almost all of our events are like fall-y. So
Yeah.
cool. And now the leaves are starting to fall too. It's starting to actually feel
Yes.
like it. Okay, so the first event that I highlighted this week is called Hops in the Park. Have you ever heard of this, Jackie?
No.
Okay, so it's the 10th year they're doing this. It's at Henricus Historical Park in Chester, which is basically a huge living history museum. And for any of those watching, if you grew up in Central Virginia like myself, I think we all did like the 4th grade field trip there. And actually we
Fun.
went there yesterday and there were so many field trips. I think it was Henrico and Caroline County that we saw there. Yeah, so I want to bring in some photos from years past that I was sent over from these folks. So essentially you're going to find more than 20 craft breweries there, a marketplace, food vendors, live music. And you can see here, this is that living history aspect that I quickly mentioned. So essentially Henricus was the second permanent settlement in the New World. It's where all this happened, and now it's a living history museum. So the field trips that come in and the people who come and visit are taken back in time 400 years ago through reenactment. So they get to see, touch, feel, do all the things that these settlers did 400 years ago. And so they're kind of combining that with this beer festival, which is pretty cool. So when you go, you will see people dressed up in 17th century garb, which is definitely not something you see every day, and it definitely has a different aspect to a festival. They're going to be talking about the history of brewing in Virginia, which we know goes really far back, and it's always pretty well attended. They expect, I believe, I spoke to Charlie Grant. He's the executive director down there. I think it's like 3,000 people every year. So it's a lot. There's a lot of people, but I did speak again to Charlie Grant. He is one of the people and one of the masterminds who decided to make this 10 years ago. And here's what he says kind of led to this being an annual celebration. Let's take a listen. Maybe. Yes.
10 years ago, I wanted to have an event, a fundraiser that would benefit Henricus and the people in programs at Henricus that was not stuffy. That wasn't coat and tie. That would be blue jeans and flannel shirts, something in the fall. That would be a lot of fun for families. And at the same time, we were approached by the Virginia Hops Cooperative, and they were looking to establish an event that would promote Virginia agriculture and Virginia hops growers to the local craft brewing industry. And we put our heads together, came up with Hops in the Park, and the governor's office with Agriculture Secretary Todd Haymore at the time helped underwrite and get the event off the ground. And here we are 10 years later, and it's been a huge success.
Okay, that was my friend Charlie Grant. So I didn't even say when this was. This was Saturday from noon to 6 at Henricus Historical Park down in Chester. And this all benefits the Henricus Foundation's Children's Education Fund, which basically funds programs and field trips, like I mentioned, for all these area students that are coming into the park to learning more about this. Jackie, you are a craft beer fan,
Yes.
right? Okay.
You got my interest.
I know, I knew I would. So is there a certain kind you like, or do you have a favorite brewery around here?
I love Center of the Universe. I love
in
all,
Ashland. Okay.
I love I love all the breweries, honestly.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones. I really like this time of year, especially the stouts and like the pumpkin beers. And at least this weekend, it's going to feel more fall-like. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to head out there Saturday, actually.
Cool. You can enjoy without feeling like it's 85 degrees
Yes.
out. That's a good plus.
Nice pumpkin beer without it feeling like summer.
I love it. So it is free to get in, but Jackie, if you do go, it's cashless for beer tickets. So
Okay,
they're
good
only
to
doing
know.
card, but there will be a bunch of food trucks and like artisans there, and they'll take cash. But it's just for the beer that you'll need to bring like a debit card, credit card. So it's $7.50 for a full 12-ounce pour, or if you just want a sample, which is a 4-ounce pour, it'll be $4. So just keep that in mind. And so if you've ever gone to Henricus Historical Park, it's kind of tucked away. So you kind of have to go through some smaller back roads. And so that parking lot's definitely not big enough for 3,000 people. So there is alternate parking, satellite parking at USA Iron and Metal and Dominion Energy, both just around the corner. And there's going to be shuttles that are bringing people back and forth. So those will run from 11:45 to 6:30 on Saturday. So I don't feel like you have to park at the actual park. There's, a couple mile or so away, and then you'll be shuttled in. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's the 10th annual Hops in the Park. I had a feeling that you would like this one.
You know me, Delaney. You know me.
I feel like you know. Okay, so Jackie, you're new here. So after this, we go through a whole list of other events that are going on. So I'm gonna bring up my handy dandy list, but I'll bring you back here in a second. The first one we want to talk about, the Urbana Oyster Festival on Friday and Saturday. This is actually huge across their area. Urbana is a very small town, I believe. Is it Middlesex County, I think? I think like 500 people, and they shut down the entire town for this, and they expect like 50,000 people every single year. Are you an oyster fan?
No,
Oh,
I
it's
wish
okay.
I was. I love Urbana, though. I've been to Urbana so many times.
You have?
Yeah, because I always
When?
used to go up to Kilmarnock, the northern neck.
Yeah.
Urbana is so beautiful. It's so quaint. Don't like oysters, though.
I didn't. That's okay. I didn't realize you've been there so often. I
Oh,
love
yes.
it. So this is Virginia's official celebration of oysters, and it's actually one of the largest, they claim, oyster festivals in the entire world, which I can believe. 50,000 people. So it's Friday, so tomorrow from 10 to 8, Saturday from 9 to 5. Entry is free. You pay as you go. Of course, you'll find oysters. And online, they have a different schedule of events each day. So you'll find a fine art show, a carnival, story time and crafts with kids, craft beer tasting, a fireman's parade, different musical lineups each day. And I actually saw that there was a VIP experience, but that is sold out. So
Okay.
don't count on it.
Well, hey, I don't like oysters, but I like Urbana. I like live music.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things I could enjoy there. But I had to choose. I can't go to all the events.
I know. I feel like, when we first started this, I was like, she's going to want to go to every single one. Because you really do go out and about after the show. You're so, I applaud you because you always
I
have so
really
much
should be
energy.
napping, but
Well, choices are made. What can you do? So that is the Urbana Oyster Festival tomorrow and Saturday, of course, in Urbana. If you go, please let us know. Again, it's so well attended, and I know so many people around here love it, so we'd love to see your photos. Please send them in. Just let us know. All right, so the second event I want to go over is the Dia de los Muertos celebration at Louis Ginter. That's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. So Dia de los Muertos is a Mexican holiday that honors and pays respects to family and friends who have passed. A lot of times it incorporates an altar, and you put out some of their pictures, some of their favorite items, their favorite foods, their favorite drinks, and it's a really beautiful way to honor those folks who have passed. So on Saturday, you can head out to Louis Ginter. You can bring offerings to the altar. There's crafts. Different artists will be there, face painting. There's going to be some food options like a taco bar, and they will have adult beverages and like water for sale, and that's included in general admission. Jackie, have you been to Louis Ginter?
no. I
Okay.
feel so bad saying all this.
No, it's okay. I feel like, I grew up here and there's so many places. I'm like, I wish
Yeah.
I could go there. Beautiful this time of year. And I believe they also have, they light up everything at Christmas time too. So if you wanted to go, but maybe that's the time too. So there's a lot of opportunities to go.
Good to know.
Very beautiful. And actually last year I talked to their director of exhibitions, Michelle Israel. And last year was, I believe, their first Dia de los Muertos celebration at Louis
wow.
Ginter. And she was so passionate. I'm so glad to see that it's coming back. So yeah, that is on Saturday from 10 to 2. Okay. We move on. The Hardywood Bluegrass Festival in Richmond from noon to 9 on Saturday. Are you a bluegrass fan, Jackie?
Yeah, I am.
Really?
This is why it's hard. I'm gonna have to, you know how I solve problems. I usually spin the wheel.
Yeah,
Spin the wheel generator. I feel like I'm gonna have to add all these in and just pick one.
And I know you mentioned you are a lover of some of the craft breweries. Have you been to Hardywood?
Yes.
There's a couple
There
of
is
locations,
a couple,
right?
Yeah. I know there was one near me in Tuckahoe, I think.
Yes. The West Creek location,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So this is, I believe, this is on Ownby Lane, so I think that's the one in Richmond.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So there's going to be different bluegrass artists from Virginia and North Carolina. The hot seats in between bluegrass band, the high and the wides, dirty grass players, garden variety string band, and they each have like about an hour time slot. So if you want to just go on to the Hardywood website, you can, if you have a certain band that you're interested in looking at, they have them all listed out by like time slot too. So that's 12 to 9 at Hardywood Craft Brewery. And the last event I want to talk about is something a little different. Shucked is coming to the Altria Theater until Sunday. That is a Broadway show. You like Broadway, but yes, but no, right?
Why do you say yes but no?
I don't know. I feel like we really didn't talk about this.
So it's interesting because I mean I'm from New York and
Yes.
Broadway we would always go do like for like you guys, our field trips were always so different. Like whenever you and Autumn talk about your field trips, I'm like, nope, never even heard of it. Would never do that. We would go to, like to the water park or something. But we would always go to Broadway plays, and I love the feeling you get when you walk out of a play. It's like it's so weird. I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
You just feel like
feel
inspired.
magic.
Yeah. But I haven't been to the Altria Theater either, so
Really?
this is just me embarrassing myself.
No,
I
you're
haven't
not
done all
embarrassing
these
yourself
things.
at all. Hopefully, it's just inspiring you. And this is actually part of course, their season at the Altria, and there's a ton of cool lineup of shows. This year, I've only bought some for some of the shows. But Shucked is a Broadway show. It actually started yesterday in Richmond and goes till Sunday. Richmond, I believe, is one of their first stops across the tour. So in a sentence, it is about a town called Cobb County, surrounded by corn, and corn is like their livelihood of this town, and the corn starts dying. So how are we going to fix the town? So that's the whole musical. I think there's like one gal who goes out and moves out to the big city and is trying to find a way to fix this problem. What's causing it? How do we fix it? And then the trials and tribulations of said Cobb County. It's gotten amazing awards. So it's Tony Award-winning musical, which is like the award for Broadway. Yeah. So the runtime, it'll be about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So if you have little ones, I'm not sure. And I actually wanted to look up if this was like kid friendly. I'm not sure. It's definitely not like your Frozen or, like Cat in the Hat or, Seussical or anything like that. But the showtimes differ throughout the ones that are offered. There's like 8 p.m., 2 p.m. on Sundays. There's like a 1 p.m. and a 6:30 if you want an earlier night. And you can buy tickets at BroadwayInRichmond.com. So, yeah, that's all I got.
I think I'll be at all of them.
You see, the thing is, like, I don't think you're joking.
I'm
Like,
not
that's
because
the
I'm off
problem.
Sunday. Because I worked all this week, so I think I'm just gonna not sleep and just go. I'll sleep.
Well,
I'm
if you
kidding,
see
but-
Jackie, can
yeah.
you just like check on her for me and just let us know? She'll be fine. She'll be great. I love you, Jackie. But yeah, that's all I have this week. So again, if you ever want us to learn more about an event, please shoot us an email at news@wrec.com. We have graded events. We also do live in-studio interviews at 9 o'clock where we're showcasing some local events too. So we'd love to hear from you. But for now, we will see you next week. Happy Halloween, everyone.